stated section of the agenda allowed. We are streaming live on our virtual engagement hub, which is accessible through the virtual engagement hub link on the front page of City website. We also have an option for the public to listen live by phone. For those of you out there with us today, welcome. For today's meeting, we have the option for people to call in and comment live during the meeting. To call in and comment live, use the same number, 855-925-2801, meeting code 9478. Your phone will be muted and you will hear the meeting live. At this point, speakers will need to push *3 to enter the speaker queue. I'll now go through and introduce all committee members and staff who are participating virtually. When I call your name, give a quick hello. Councilwoman Antoinette Mosley.
Good morning.
Councilwoman Kim Roney.
Good morning.
Deputy City Clerk Sarah Gross.
Good morning.
Assistant Clerk Jerry Goldberg.
Good morning.
And I believe we have Assistant City Manager Rachel Wood. And also good morning. And also City Attorney Brad Branham with us today. Brad, are you there? I don't see you. He's here.
I don't think he's in this one.
Okay, I thought he came. Okay, it seems that we forgot to approve January 11th meetings at our minutes, meeting minutes on our last meeting on January 8th. So I'll can I get a motion to approve the January 11th minutes?
So moved.
This is Kim, second.
All right, with the motion in a second, I'll do a roll call vote for approval. Councilwoman Mosley.
Aye.
Councilwoman Roney.
Aye.
And myself, aye. January 11th minutes have been approved. And now can I get a motion to approve the February 8th minutes?
So moved.
This is Kim, second.
All right, with the motion and a second, I'll do a roll call vote for approval. Councilwoman Mosley.
Aye.
Councilwoman Roney.
Aye.
And myself, aye. The January 8th minutes have been approved. Is there anybody in the speaker queue for public comment?
We do not have anyone in the queue.
Okay, with no one in the queue, we'll move on to new business. We have a couple vacancies that we have to fill with about 4 or 5 committees and commissions. Our first is the African American Heritage Commission. We have 1 vacancy. The staff recommends the appointment of Ashley Wilberding. Any comments or a motion from the committee?
I moved.
Oh, go ahead.
I move to recommend the appointment of Ashley Wilberding.
Okay. Is there a second?
Kim, second.
All right, with the motion in a second, I'll do a roll call vote to recommend the appointment of Ashley Wilberding. Councilwoman Mosley.
Aye.
Councilwoman Roney.
Aye.
And myself, aye. The motion carries. Board and electrical examiners, we have 1 vacancy, and we're looking for a specific representative. The individual needs to be a journeyman contractor. So I think we made a recommendation to approve Rick Sluter in a meeting past. I'm really not sure which meeting, but it seems that he does not have a journeyman license. So we're going to move Rick Sluter to the electrical contractor seat. So today we have to recommend an appointment for that journeyman contractor. Any comments or a motion from the committee?
Point of order. We actually do need to, a motion to move Rick Sluter as well.
Okay.
This is Kim. I will move Rick Sluter to the electrical contractor seat from the journeyman seat.
Second.
All right, with the motion in a second, I will do a roll call vote for this move. Councilwoman Mosley.
Aye.
Councilwoman Roney.
Aye.
Myself, aye. Motion carries to move Rick Sluter from the journeyman seat to the electrical contractor seat. Now, do we have a recommendation to fill the journeyman seat?
I have minutes or notes here that we do have an opportunity to appoint Mr. Knox to this position, but he is with the same company as Mr. Sluter. Do we have clarification from staff on whether or not there's concerns for conflict of interest, or if someone were to have to recuse themselves, do they both have to recuse themselves? What are the complications we anticipate?
There's no legal requirement or anything like that they be on different companies or anything like that. If there's financial interest and there's conflict of interest, I would assume that if it's beneficial to one, it likely would be beneficial to the other, and they might both have to recuse themselves. So that would be a consideration.
And I think you did reach out to the staff member, the staff liaison for clarity, and we got no answer in return. Is that
Correct. I asked if there was further concern, if that was the specific concern, and I did not get a response prior to this meeting.
Okay, so with that being said, is there a motion to appoint someone to the journeyman seat?
As a member of our unionized workers, I am prepared to move that Mr. Knox, Jonathan Knox, be appointed to the journeyman seat.
Sarah, do you have something to?
Yeah, I just wanted to know, for the record, he is also a county applicant. Just noting that.
Okay.
Historically, I haven't seen a lot of opportunities to approve applicants at all for these seats, which is one of the reasons why I would anticipate we might have to make an exception.
All right, a motion is on the table. Is there a second?
I have a question
Okay.
before I could do the second. How long has this been open?
Give me just 1 second while I pull up that spreadsheet.
Sorry.
It won't take me but a second. I'm getting into it right now. Oops. And electrical engineers.
Because I'll go ahead.
So, since December.
Because almost what I'm inclined to do, although I'm not opposed to Mr. Knox, is keeping it open for another month to see if there are other applications, and then circling back next month, since we didn't get a response from the board on the specific issue regarding their working at the same company.
I support that. I'll withdraw my motion.
Okay, we'll re-advertise for that seat. Moving on to the Citizen Police Advisory Commission. We did not get any applications for that seat, and there's a purpose for that. This seat is specific to the Asheville Housing Authority. It is an Asheville Housing Authority seat. So we have a recommendation from David Nash to appoint Allison Smith to replace Robert Hooper.
I'm happy to make that motion for the appointment of Allison Smith.
Okay.
Kim, second.
All right, with the motion in a second, we'll do a roll call vote for approval. Councilwoman Mosley,
Aye.
Councilwoman Roney,
Aye.
and myself, aye. The motion carries. All right, Design Review Committee, we have 4 vacancies. We have a lot of explanation for a lot of changes here. So, but we do have some direction forward, a little direction moving forward. Staff recommends Kimberly Hunter to be moved from the Downtown Commission representative seat to the at-large seat. There are currently 4 Downtown Commission representatives. So changing that membership, so the change in the membership approval in last month's requirements to approve 3 for Downtown Commission, 3 for the Asheville area riverfront redevelopment, and 3 at large. This kind of falls in line with that. So initially, I believe the Downtown Commission had 4 appointed representatives. So we're just moving Kimberly Hunter to the at-large seat. So if we're going to take this by this chunk by pieces, can I get a motion to possibly move on the recommendation of moving Kimberly Hunter to the at-large seat?
So moved.
I'll second.
All right, I'll do a roll call vote to approve the move of Kimberly Hunter to the at-large seat. Councilwoman Mosley,
Aye.
Councilwoman Roney,
Aye.
and myself, aye. The motion carries. Now, outside of that, the staff liaison recommends Catherine and Kaya, I believe I'm pronouncing her name correctly, for the Riverfront Development Commission representative. Are there any comments on that recommendation? Or a motion?
So moved. Or more specific, I move that we recommend Catherine and Kaya for the AARRC representative.
Right, is there a second?
Kim, second.
All right, with a motion and a second, I'll do a roll call vote for approval. Councilwoman Mosley,
Aye.
Councilwoman Roney,
Aye.
and myself, aye. That motion carries. The staff liaison also recommends Christina Brewer for the at-large seat. Are there comments or a motion for that appointment?
This is Kim. We have some good applicants here, and it seems that Ricardo Ciejo is also eligible for this seat, and I would like for him to be considered. So I move to recommend Ricardo Ciejo for the vacant seat.
I'll second.
All right.
Just note that there are 2 at-large seats that you'll be appointing for today.
Okay, we have a motion on
It's
the
easier
table.
to make the motion for both.
Okay, let's do it one at a time. We already have a motion on the table for Mr. Ciejo, and we have a second. I'll do a roll call vote. Councilwoman Mosley,
Aye.
Councilwoman Roney,
Aye.
and myself, aye. Did you want to lift the second motion? Another motion for the second appointment for at-large seat?
This is
I'll
Kim.
oh.
Go ahead.
move that we recommend Christina Brewer for an at-large seat.
This is Kim, second.
All right, roll call vote for approval. Councilwoman Mosley,
Aye.
Councilwoman Roney,
Aye.
and myself, aye. And that completes, I believe so. Or do we have one more seat? Kimberly Hunter, Ms. Nkaya. Oh, we got it. We're done. All right, moving on along. Okay, Historic Resource Commission, we have one vacancy. We do have a chair and staff liaison recommendation for the appointment of Kelly Jackson. Any comments or motion?
I move that we recommend the appointment of Shelley Jackson for a seat on the Historic Resources Commission.
All right, is there a second?
Kim, second.
All right, I'll do a roll call vote for approval. Councilwoman Mosley,
Aye.
Councilwoman Roney,
Aye.
and myself, aye. The motion carries for that appointment to the Historic Resource Commission. And now we'll kick it to Jerry Goldberg. She has updates on our annual reports.
At the request of this committee last month, we did reach out to the boards and commissions that did not submit an annual report originally, and we did receive them all. Of those, so we now have 18 boards that submitted annual reports with a total of 30 recommendations. I'm sorry, 22 boards. I'm going by the old number. 22 boards and commissions submitted reports. 13 of those 22 made recommendations for a total of 31 recommendations. And I added the additional reports to the bottom of the original compilation that you received. So they're all there. And we just encourage full council to read and take these recommendations into consideration.
I appreciate that. Thank you for reaching
Any
back out to these committees. Any questions?
I only have a little curiosity is the timing. I wonder if after a very busy holiday season where boards and commissions are often having rescheduled meetings, if we might consider pushing back our deadline, if we might have greater participation, getting folks back into their January meetings, helping them facilitate that maybe through a February timeline might be more helpful. It's just a consideration.
Sarah?
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't see an issue with that, but I do want to note that in the boards and commissions rules of procedures, that January 31st deadline is written into the policy. So we'll start there, but it may be we can extend if that's the committee's wish. We can do that moving forward.
Thank you.
Okay. And we'll just let them know that we're flexible with the time and it's not a hard deadline. Taking into consideration the rescheduling and the holidays is fine. Sarah, you want to give us an update on the restructure proposal?
Yep, I just wanted to plug that the workshops are going on right now. We've had 2 and we have 2 more. One's tomorrow afternoon and the other is Friday morning. Great opportunity, and we're hearing lots of really great input and feedback. So we're still in that information gathering stage, and there's going to be some changes, and hopefully we get to a point where we can make a recommendation that the council could consider. But at this point, we're still in the information gathering and getting the input. Quick update.
And if the public wanted to review these meetings, where can they find them?
Oh, great question. We are recording. We did have a lot of technical issues with the first one, which was held last Thursday. So we do not have that recording. However, I do believe Sunshine is live streaming and does have that record. But the recordings that we did capture, the one from yesterday, and the Jamboards, which are essentially whiteboards that we're using to facilitate discussion, will all be posted to the project page following this week. We're just going to get it all up there together. So,
all right, thank you for the update.
Yes, lots of great information there to see.
All right, Kim, you have a comment?
Yeah, just as the liaison to the Urban Forestry Commission, I wanted to name that the Urban Forestry Commission did make a formal recommendation not supporting the restructure as proposed. Some of the concerns named were that there is support for some restructure warranted, and that they would like to consider taking on stormwater issues as part of maybe an umbrella consolidation of having a number of board meetings being able to fold into one, similarly to what we might see with like the Multimodal Transportation Commission being the umbrella for bike, pedestrian, task force, transit, and greenways. So I just wanted to name that recommendation is out there and available to the full council for consideration.
And thank you for that recommendation. I believe after yesterday, Jerry and I had a conversation about attendance, and there are a couple chairs and committee members who are in attendance, and everybody wants to gather information to make sure that their concerns and the work of their committee will be carried forward. So thank you for lifting that. I think there'll be a collection of a lot of themes per chair and per boards moving forward, and it'll definitely be taken in consideration before we have the final approval on restructuring. Councilwoman Mosley.
And also in that vein, you know, we've received several emails not in support of what is currently proposed, and several of them mention the African American Heritage Commission by name. I've just in general conversation had a couple of conversations with folks on that commission. And so if possible, and this is not a direction, but I'm wondering if we could get a formal recommendation or not from the African American Heritage Commission, please. Or if that's something I can speak to the liaison about, if that's more appropriate, just let me know.
I can certainly reach out
or
to
the broader community isn't speaking specifically for that body. If you know, if that body is feeling differently, I just want to get clarification, please.
Yeah, I can definitely reach out to Brenda, and I do know that that committee does have a meeting this week, I want to say. So I'll get that on Brenda's radar to maybe facilitate some discussion and hear from the board.
All right, any more discussion, informal discussion from the committee? All right, hearing none, we'll move on to public comment.
We do not have any callers in the queue.
What a miracle. All right, without any further ado, I think we'll just adjourn this meeting unless anybody else had something that was burning. All right, I'll see you all a little later on. Thank you, committee and staff.
Thank you.
All right.
I think so.